Ladies, let me ask you something powerful. Have you ever sat in silence and realized you're not lonely? You're finally free. You're not missing anything. You've just stopped settling. Because let's be real. The world will try to convince you that a woman who lives alone is broken, bitter, or incomplete. They'll say you're too hard to love, too strong, too independent. But let me tell you something they won't admit out loud. A woman who walks alone is a woman who has discovered her worth. She's not chasing validation. She's not waiting for a ring. She's not sacrificing her sanity just to say she's got a man. No. She's walking in her purpose, standing in her peace, and creating a life that nourishes her soul. And that's terrifying to the world, because a woman who doesn't need a man is a woman they can control. This isn't about hate. It's not about giving up on love. It's about waking up. It's about realizing that love isn't supposed to feel like confusion. It's not supposed to feel like constantly proving your worth. You are not someone's emotional crutch, their ego boost, or their backup plan. You are not here to shrink so someone else can feel tall. You are here to grow, to thrive, to bloom in the light of your own becoming. And when you choose to live alone, not because you have to, but because you want to, you've entered a new level of freedom most people will never taste. Because solitude is not your weakness, it is your superpower. It's where your healing happens, it's where your dreams return, it's where your voice gets louder and your standards get higher. You begin to see clearly, you begin to walk differently, you begin to love yourself in a way that makes temporary people very uncomfortable. So let them whisper, let them wonder why you're still single. Let them ask, why doesn't she have a man? Because the real question is, why should you settle for less when you finally found more within yourself? In a world that teaches women to chase relationships at the cost of their peace, you've chosen something sacred. You've chosen yourself. You've chosen peace over pressure, growth over games, wholeness over half loves. And today we're going to talk about the power of that choice. This is for every woman who's been called too much for having boundaries. For every woman who's had to walk alone to find herself. For every woman who dared to stop settling and start rising. This is not your breakdown, this is your becoming. Let's begin. The strength in solitude. Ladies, let's get one thing clear. Living alone does not mean you are lonely. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It means you've reached a point in your life where you no longer seek validation from outside sources. You no longer feel the need to be defined by someone else's presence. You have chosen solitude not out of sadness, but out of strength. You are not hiding from love, you are choosing yourself over chaos, confusion, and compromise. There is something deeply powerful about a woman who walks through life alone, not because she has to, but because she chooses to. She understands that peace is priceless, and sometimes peace only comes when you stop allowing the wrong people into your space. A woman who lives alone without man isn't weak. She isn't bitter. She isn't broken. She's bold. She's brave. She's free. Think about it. When you live alone, you answer to no one but yourself. You create your own environment. You set your own tone. You wake up in a space that reflects your energy, not someone else's expectations. You are no longer compromising your joy just to make someone else comfortable. You are no longer sacrificing your dreams to play a role someone else wrote for you. You are writing your own story now, and every chapter is yours to shape. Society has always tried to tell women that we are incomplete without a man, that we are supposed to be nurturers, caretakers, supporters, always in service to someone else's vision. But you, queen, are flipping the script. You've realized that you are not a half looking for another half. You are a whole woman, powerful, purposeful, and perfectly capable of standing on your own 2 feet. Living alone gives you a level of freedom most people only dream of. It gives you time to reflect, to grow, to heal, and to build. It gives you the opportunity to reconnect with your inner voice, the one you may have silenced for too long. That voice is now leading you. That voice is your compass. And when you learn to trust it, you become unstoppable. You see, independence doesn't mean shutting love out. It means you've stopped settling for anything less than real love. You are no longer afraid of being alone. because you've discovered the joy in your own company. And once you start loving your own energy, you stop chasing people who drain it. So let the world call you too strong, too independent, or too difficult. Those words are just reflections of your power, making others uncomfortable. You weren't born to fit into a mold. You were born to break it. This is your season of fullness, of peace, of power. You are the woman who lives alone, and you are more than enough, choosing yourself over settling. There comes a moment in every woman's life when she looks around and realizes that peace is more valuable than presence. And when that moment hits, she starts choosing herself, not out of arrogance, but out of wisdom. That's the kind of woman you are. You've chosen yourself over settling, over compromising, over pretending. You see, society will always pressure women to be partnered, to be chosen, to be claimed by someone. But let me ask you this. What's the point of being claimed by a man who doesn't truly value you? What's the point of wearing a title if it costs you your peace, your dreams, your sense of self? You're not choosing to live alone because you gave up on love. You're living alone because you gave up on fake love, conditional attention, and temporary affection. You're no longer accepting the bare minimum just to say you have someone. You know your worth now. You've outgrown mediocrity. Choosing yourself means refusing to be someone's backup plan. It means walking away from sweet words with no action. It means letting go of relationships that only survive when you lower your standards. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Because settling might keep you company, but it will never bring you fulfillment. Every time you say no to someone who is in line with your peace, you say yes to yourself. Every time you walk away from manipulation, lies, or emotional games, you walk closer to the woman you were born to become. And here's the truth. People may not understand your silence, your solitude, your singleness, but they don't have to. Your life is not an open book for public approval. You are not obligated to explain why you no longer entertain chaos. You don't owe anyone a justification for your standards. Let them wonder, let them gossip, let them question. You are living for you now. Choosing yourself also means choosing your growth. It means investing in your goals, your health, your happiness. It means going to bed with peace in your heart instead of pain in your chest. You're not waiting by the phone, crying over unanswered messages, or clinging to someone who can't even love you properly. You've broken free from that cycle. You are not bitter, you are better. You are not cold, you are cautious. You're not heartless, you healed. You've decided that your time, energy, and love are too valuable to waste on anything that isn't real. And when you choose yourself consistently, you become powerful, you become untouchable, you begin to radiate a kind of energy that attracts everything aligned with your purpose and repels everything that no longer serves you. So stand tall, queen. This isn't loneliness, this is elevation. You're not alone, you're focused. And this season of solitude, it's just the beginning of your most powerful chapter yet. Discovering your true power in solitude. When a woman chooses to live alone, truly alone, without the distraction of men who bring more harm than harmony, she steps into a sacred space. A space where she no longer performs, pleases, or pretends. A space where she can finally become. Because it is in solitude that she meets her true power. Not the version of herself shaped by expectations, but the woman she was always meant to be. There's a transformation that happens when you learn to stand alone. You stop looking for someone to complete you because you realize you were never incomplete. You stop chasing connection because you found the most important one, the connection to yourself. Your intuition sharpens, your vision becomes clear, and you begin to walk in purpose, no longer distracted by who left, who didn't show up, or who couldn't love you right. In solitude, you begin to rebuild, not out of desperation, but out of determination. You start nurturing your mind, protecting your energy, and elevating your standards. You become intentional with your time, your space, and your circle. You create boundaries, not as walls to keep love out, but as doors that only open to what honors you. If people might say she's too independent, she doesn't need a man, but understand this. Independence is not the absence of love, it's the refusal to beg for it. It's the refusal to stay where you're disrespected. It's the courage to say, I would rather walk alone than walk with someone who leads me nowhere. You are not anti-love. You are pro-respect. You've stopped settling because you've learned that being alone and being lonely are not the same. Loneliness is when you crave company. Solitude is when you fall in love with your own. And that's exactly what you've done. You've fallen in love with your silence, your routines, your growth, and your freedom. And the beauty of this journey is that you are now discovering parts of yourself that were hidden beneath people-pleasing, heartbreak, and emotional chaos. You're rediscovering your dreams. You're picking up your passions. You're making your space your sanctuary. There's no drama in your home, no confusion, no second guessing, just peace. And that peace, that's power. Every day you rise alone, you rise stronger. Every goal you crush by yourself, you build confidence. And every time you look in the mirror and say, I am enough, you shatter the lies that try to keep you small. This journey of solitude is not a punishment. It's a preparation, a season of alignment, a time for you to evolve without distraction. Because the woman you are becoming doesn't just walk along. She walks with purpose. So keep building, keep shining, keep loving yourself harder than anyone else ever could. Because when you choose solitude over settling, you don't just survive, you thrive. Breaking free from dependency and redefining love. One of the most powerful decisions a woman can make is to break free from dependency, emotionally, financially, and spiritually. When you choose to live alone without relying on a man to complete you, support you, or define you, you are not just choosing solitude, you are choosing liberation. Too many women have been conditioned to believe they need a man to survive, to be protected, to be validated. But you've realized that true protection comes from boundaries. True validation comes from self-worth. And true survival, it starts when you stop depending on someone else to save you and start saving yourself. Living alone teaches you that you are your own anchor. You are your own provider, protector, and peacekeeper. You are not fragile. You are not waiting to be rescued. You are rising on your own, building a life that reflects your values, not someone else's expectations. This kind of strength doesn't come overnight. It's born through heartbreak, through lessons, through letting go of illusions. You may have once believed love meant sacrifice, that it meant giving up pieces of yourself to keep someone else comfortable. But now you know better. Love is not supposed to hurt. It's not supposed to drain you. And it's certainly not supposed to make you question your worth. By living alone, you've redefined what love means. You've learned that love begins with you. It's in the way you care for your body, the way you speak to your soul, the way you protect your peace. Love is in your morning routine, in your boundaries, in the way you walk away from anything that doesn't nourish your spirit. You've stopped romanticizing chaos and started romanticizing your life, lighting candles for yourself, cooking for yourself, laughing in your own company. You no longer see being alone as a void to be filled, but as a gift to be cherished. And maybe you still desire love, real love. That's natural, but now your standards have evolved. You're no longer looking for someone to fix you, complete you, or define you. You're looking for someone who can walk beside you, not ahead of you or behind you. Someone who respects your independence, not resents it. Someone who understands that your solitude wasn't loneliness, it was preparation. Until that person comes, if they ever do, you are content within yourself. You've already built a home in your own heart. You've already created the joy, the peace, and the safety others are still searching for in someone else. So celebrate this freedom. Celebrate the strength it takes to stand alone in a world that tells you to be attached. You're not just a woman who lives alone. You are a woman who has mastered herself. A woman who has redefined love by first choosing to love herself completely, embracing peace, purpose, and power. When a woman decides to walk alone, to build a life without relying on a man's presence, something incredible happens. She starts to embrace a life of peace, purpose, and power. No more emotional roller coasters, no more waiting for validation, no more shrinking to fit into someone else's world. This is your world now, and you're building it on your own terms. You wake up and there's no tension in the air. No wondering if you're being lied to. No drama stealing your sleep. No confusion about where you stand. Instead, there's clarity, peace, focus. And in that peace, you discover your greatest power. The power to be fully present with yourself. You're no longer being pulled in 100 directions, trying to please a man who doesn't even see your worth. You're not dressing to impress someone who won't commit. You're not bending your values to be accepted. You are walking in alignment with who you truly are. That is freedom. And with that freedom comes purpose. Suddenly, your time is yours. You have space to dream again. You can pour into your passions, your business, your vision. You're not waiting around anymore. You're taking action. You're healing, building, learning, evolving. Every day you wake up and make choices for you, not for someone who only shows up when it's convenient. This kind of solitude is sacred. It's not the absence of love. It's the foundation of self-respect. It's not about closing yourself off. It's about elevating so high that only those with true intentions can reach you. And trust me, the woman you're becoming will never be available for the same kind of nonsense you used to tolerate. Let them say you're too independent. Let them call you intimidating. That's their insecurity, not your responsibility. You've simply chosen to live in peace rather than in pieces. You've chosen growth over games. You've chosen solitude over settling. There is unmatched power in knowing that you don't need anyone to complete you. That kind of confidence is rare and it's magnetic. You become a woman who doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't settle. A woman who stands strong in her truth, even if she stands alone. And don't be surprised if in this season of solitude, you begin to glow differently. When you're not stressed, not second guessing, not stuck in confusion, your light returns. Your smile becomes genuine. Your spirit feels lighter because peace isn't just a feeling. It's a lifestyle and you chose it. So own this season. Celebrate it. You are not just a woman who lives alone. You are a woman who lives fully, boldly and unapologetically. A woman who understands that true love begins with self-love and that peace is the most powerful partner you will ever have. Becoming unshakable, the legacy of a woman who walks alone. You didn't choose to live alone out of weakness. You chose it out of wisdom. You didn't isolate yourself because you were afraid. You stood alone because you were ready to rise. And now after all the battles, all the tears, all the growth, you are no longer the same woman. You are unshakable. There's something undeniably powerful about a woman who is whole on her own. She doesn't crumble when someone walks away. She doesn't chase people who are inconsistent. She doesn't lose herself trying to keep someone else. Why? Because she's anchored in her own identity. Because she knows her value isn't tied to who stays. It's rooted in who she is. You've done the work. You've healed wounds that others left bleeding. You've silenced the noise that once clouded your judgment. You've learned how to protect your peace, guard your energy, and walk with dignity. And most importantly, you've learned that being alone is not the absence of love. It's the presence of self-respect. This isn't just a phase. It's not a trend. It's a lifestyle. You've created a space where only honesty, peace, and purpose can exist. And that's rare in a world where many trade their standards for temporary attention. But not you. You chose the hard road, the one that leads to real freedom. You see, the legacy of the woman who walks alone is not loneliness. It's leadership. Other women are watching you. Your strength becomes their permission. Your boundaries become their blueprint. Your glow becomes a signpost that says, you can thrive without settling. You can be whole without a man. You can build your empire without apology. You're rewriting the narrative. No longer is a woman's worth measured by her relationship status. No longer does she have to wait to be chosen. Because she's already chosen herself. She is the prize. She is the foundation. She is the fire. And if love comes, great. But it'll meet you at your level, not beneath it. It'll walk beside you, not drag you backward. You've done too much inner work to entertain anything that feels like chaos again. You've come too far to start over with someone who doesn't match your peace. So what now? You continue to rise, you continue to build, you continue to lead, you continue to live in such a way that your peace speaks louder than any title or relationship status ever could. Because the truth is, you're not just surviving alone. You're thriving in your power. The woman who lives alone without men, she's not broken. She's not bitter. She's not waiting. She's wise and she's winning. Keep walking. The world has no idea just how far you're about to go. Ladies, let's pause for a moment and truly honor what this journey represents. Choosing solitude in a world that constantly pushes partnership is not weakness. It is strength in its highest form. It is clarity. It is healing. It is a powerful declaration that you will no longer settle for anything that costs you your peace. You've walked through fire, heartbreak, confusion, self-doubt, and you didn't just survive. You rose. You didn't let your loneliness define you. You let it refine you. You stood still long enough to hear your own voice again. You let the silence speak and it reminded you of who you are, not who the world tried to make you. This path of living alone, of choosing yourself, isn't always easy. It's not always glamorous. But it's real, it's raw, and it's yours. You stopped trying to fit into someone else's life and started designing your own. You stopped begging to be loved and started loving yourself with the depth that no one can take away. And yes, people may still whisper, they may look at your singleness and assume sadness, assume rejection. But let them, because what they don't see is the joy that fills your space when you come home to yourself. They don't hear the quiet victories, the peace in your breath, the confidence in your steps, the dreams you now chase without distraction. You are not defined by your relationship status. You are defined by your courage, by your standards, by your ability to walk away from anything that dim your light. You chose healing over habit, self-worth over silence, growth over games. And that choice, that's revolutionary. You no longer tolerate being almost loved. You no longer carry the weight of potential in someone who never chose to rise. You don't explain yourself. You don't justify your joy. You just live fully, boldly, beautifully. So if you've ever doubted your path, if you've ever questioned whether walking alone means you're doing life wrong, let this be your reminder. You are not alone. You are aligned. You are not empty. You are evolving. You are not missing out, you are moving up. This season of solitude is sacred, is where you meet the real you, the powerful you, the healed you, the woman who doesn't wait to be chosen because she already chose herself. And maybe one day love will come, but it won't be chaos wrapped in charm. It will be peace. It will be alignment. It will be an addition to the life you've already built, not a rescue from it. Until then, walk tall, walk strong, walk alone if you must, but always, always walk in your worth. Because the woman who walks alone walks in power. And that, my sister, is the most unstoppable force in the world.